How's it going, folks? So, physical media sucks sometimes, you know? Just, fuck me. I hate buying it. It's just like, alright, I bought a lot of it. Okay, so, I have done a few videos in the past explaining how and why I like buying physical media. Of course, there's always the argument as to physical media is the way to go because streaming is untrustworthy. Sure, okay. That's 100% true. Also, it's cool to have it on your shelf. It's like a bunch of books, but it's movies and TV shows. Anyway, but today I want to talk about at least a burden that I have faced when it comes to buying physical media. Now, there's obviously minute stuff, arguably minute. There's pricing, there's damage when the product comes in, you can't exchange it, which really fucking sucks because I love my hard drive, but the Criterion came in damaged. My issue, which is the main issue I think I've always faced, and is always something that comes to bite me in the ass half the goddamn time, is buying multiple versions of the same film. Now, I am known to some degree, especially among my family, of buying the same film multiple times. Usually it's for collecting purposes, because it's like, I really love Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, so I have like 8 different copies of it, but they're all like, it's the packaging rather than the disc for me. So like, I've got how many different steelbooks of it? Like there's 1, 2, at least I can see 2 right there. I thought I had more than that up there. Weird. No way, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different steelbooks. Not to mention my initial Blu-ray, which came with the comic book limited edition cover, and the standard 4K, which also comes with a slipcover. I mean, that's not too bad, you know. That's like several copies. But in this case, I'm talking about upgrading and buying multiple copies of a film so you can get the best version possible. Now, I was recently looking at my shelf and how I can minimize space. One of the areas, which is all the way over there, you can see it. Yeah, this one here and the one right next to it. See how there's these big white things? They look like this up close. Yeah, that one's easy one to take out. They look like this. This is part of my John Carpenter collection. This takes up the space of basically 2 whole films. How fucked is that? But it's actually really nice packaging. It's got like multiple discs from the soundtrack to the Blu-ray to the 4K to the special features disc. So, you know, as an end-all be-all, not terrible. Plus, you know, a booklet and art cards and a poster that's on the wall. One of the few I have on the wall. But it's kind of a burden because it takes up so much space. Now, to some kind of contrast, I've actually done a different thing with my copy of The Thing, where this is also one of those classic films of mine that I have several copies of, to the point that I even have the Scream Factory release, which I actually bought for like $20 on eBay, including slipcover. How cool is that? It was a bit, but it was really cheap. Open up the packaging, remove your little art cards, which are still fun, and like you take a look on the inside, and you probably start to notice something. Every single one of these discs is different. And none of them are actually from this original set. Like, genuinely none of them are. This is from the Steelbook version of the 4K from Universal. Because it doesn't have the glitch that this set came with, where later in the film there's a stop motion part and the whole film glitches and just fucks up for the rest of the movie. The Steelbook edition does not have that. This is my Arrow Video release, which is the 4K, the first ever release of the 4K remaster, but is a standard Blu-ray. The third disc is the Scream Factory release, which has a different color timing altogether, and is region A. And the last disc is the special features disc from that same Scream Factory release. Obviously, the question of why the fuck and hell do you have all these different discs? Actually, conveniently, they're all in one set. It's quite nice, actually. It's really nice for me, because it's like, I've taken out the soundtrack, sure, I know, that can be a bit burdensome, but it's like, I don't know, I've already got the soundtrack on my phone. I'm not really going to put it on the fucking TV or anything like that. That's not really my jam. I like to listen to it on my phone, and you know, I've got like YouTube and shit on there. I don't need to put on a CD. Like, nevertheless, the remarks are still there. Why do I have so many discs for one film? I've even got the 2-bone release in a completely different set, which comes with all the same special features that every single one of these releases comes with. It just doesn't have the 4K UHD. Oh, it's really, there's a lot, you know? The problem, again, with buying physical media is the fact that you can get so many different releases with so many different elements to them. For me, the ultimate collector's set for the thing didn't even come with half of the fucking special features. In fact, the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc came with hardly any special features at all. You know? There are not that many special features on the Universal release. There are still some that are really cool, but they don't really have all of them. And that's not great. Even though I'm pretty sure it did come with some special features. I don't want to be completely hyperbolic. Like, yes, the bonus features. Feature commentary with the director and Kurt Russell. Terror Takes Shape, which is really good. That's the first time I ever watched it was on the 4K disc. Outtakes and theatrical trailer. So you're telling me there's not much. I don't even know why the fuck there were 4 disc slots in here. Like, there's the 4K, there's the Blu-ray, there's the soundtrack. I think it came with the 2011 version of the thing. I think that was the extra thing, but I've already got the 2011 version. I've put that in the same case with the thing from Another World, because it just saves space on my shelf. But this is in the John Carpenter collection, so it's different. Fuck, that's weird, isn't it? But you see what I mean. The Arrow Video version has a whole bunch of special features. The Scream Factory release not just has special features, but has an extra fucking special feature disc, but it also has different color timing, and they've all got like different audio tracks and different audio commentaries and all this and all of that, and there's a lot of goddamn shit. I wanted to minimize the amount of those sets that I had, because some of them were the original Studio Canal 4K releases, so I'm not going to talk about the thing in this case, but that's a really great example. Luckily, all the alternate versions of the film I've bought, I've gotten pretty cheap. Like, I have the steelbook for... Oh my god, can we not go into how many copies of the thing I have? I just realized that it actually was not that cheap. The only cheap one was basically like the 2011 film in its slipcover, because it also came with the fucking Scream Factory release in its slipcover. I got them both for like $20 from the same goddamn purchase on eBay. It was wonderful. I debated really hard, but I ended up deciding, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to have to open my goddamn turbine release. You know, that's just a great mantelpiece item. Jesus. Anyway, The Fog, Escape from New York, Prince of Darkness, and They Live. All of them come in really goddamn big packs. I do have the 2 steelbooks at least, but I don't really want to have to open up the steelbooks because they've got glossy covers and stuff, so that's not ideal. There is a 4-pack variation that comes with all 4 of them I could get for $50 on eBay or from Amazon. That's not bad. Comes with no special features. It just comes with the first 4 discs all on 4K for those 4 films. But then I put it on my shelf and I'm like, wait, shit. Like, The Fog and Escape from New York are right there. But then 3 films later... Actually, is it even 3 films later? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Potentially 6. 6 films later... I actually have Halloween 3 in there, so technically it's 5 films later. 5 films later, you get Prince of Darkness and They Live. So clearly the set is already divided by like a decade and a half of time. I mean, yeah, basically. And it's just kind of... Well, it's not really a decade, but it's a couple years. There's a couple years in there that are separated by... Which is annoying, because it's like, where the fuck do I put it? It's put underneath John Carpenter collection, but where do I put it, you know? I technically put it with The Fog, because that's at least the earliest film in the collection. Makes sense, sure. So then, I look up, what are the other alternatives? Well, there are the standard edition versions I could buy for these films. There's the standard Studio Canal version releases that they had actually released. Some I can get... the Australian copies of, some I can get only from the UK. I'm pretty sure it's Escape from New York and The Fog are basically only in the UK now, whereas I can get They Live and Prince of Darkness pretty cheap from Amazon. It was like $17 last time I checked for Prince of Darkness and like $23 for They Live. Not ideal, but still manageable. But then, of course, you take a real deep dive, and it's not even that much of a deep dive. You just look up fucking on Amazon The Thing, the Escape from New York on 4K, and They Live on 4K, and you get the Scream Factory releases, which only just came out last year. And it's like, oh, fuck you, you're kidding me. Now, initially I was like, oh, I'd love to get them because I can get the original artwork, which is a fair dinkum thing on my terms. I really like the original artwork, but I still like the Matt Ferguson artwork as well. I'm not overly particular, but I still like some kind of authenticity, and I like that Scream Factory will still make new artwork and have the original artwork as a, sleeve different. It's on the same piece of paper. You can just flip it around. It's great. I love it. Sometimes you can get them in hard cases as well, like they did for all the Halloween films when they released them on 4K. That's pretty nice, And yes, if you're wondering about that, I have the original 4K of Halloween in my John Carpenter collection, but the Scream Factory one in the Halloween collection. Of course, that's the one I'm going to watch because it's got the better transfer. So, yeah. But then I'm like looking, okay, maybe it's just a cosmetic thing. It just gives me, it's like $50 for a whole 4K set for just one film. And it's like, okay, that's not bad, I'm not getting any special features or anything, because it's like all the same stuff that's already been released. But then I look into it, and I'm like, oh wait, shit, they got Dolby Atmos tracks. Fuck. Now, in all fairness, I do already like the DTS 5.1 that is already presented on the Studio Canal releases, but it's like, fuck, what if I want to get the Dolby Atmos? I don't have speakers in my ceiling, but I like Dolby Atmos still. There's still a spatial awareness to Dolby Atmos that's usually sometimes better than the 5.1 mix, even though it is basically just a 7.1, but I usually took a lot of the Dolby Atmos emphasis as it's 7.1, but it's actually still mixed differently. It sounds different sometimes. I'm not hugely that specific of an audiophile, but sometimes you can tell that there is definitely a difference. There's always some kind of wiggle room. It's much like when you look at a 4K scan and a 4K UHD, and it's like, well, the Dolby Vision gives it a little bit of uptick, but you might not notice too much. It is what it is, it's the same equivalent, at least in my mind, for like 5.1 versus Dolby Atmos, and then, arguably HDR10 and Dolby Vision, but then doesn't really matter. Like a standard 4K restoration on a Blu-ray disc versus the UHD with the upscale of whatever. There's a lot of different delineations. It's kind of annoying. Either way, I'm still debating getting these John Carpenter ones, because I at least still fucking adore these films. And I probably will, just for the factor of that. Like, the only big pack I will probably keep on the shelf will be The Thing, just because it comes with every goddamn disc. Because I already have different editions of it. I don't need to get a different pack to be like, oh, I want to get the Thing 4K standard edition so I can put in an extra disc case slot and put in all 4 discs in that instead. And that's still doable. Like, it's all definitely doable. It's fucking tiresome. But, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why did fucking Studio Canal not release, why did they not do Dolby Atmos tracks to begin with, Was it, like, in their contract that they can only upgrade the goddamn visuals, and half the time the visuals aren't even that great? I mean, to be fair, The Fog's basically the only film in the set that doesn't look fantastic on 4K. It still looks pretty damn good half the time, but there are still some issues. And have those issues been addressed yet for Scream Factory? We don't know, because the Scream Factory release hasn't come out yet. Which is then another thing, because I gotta wait for that to fucking come out. And I can't order directly from the website because I live outside of the US and Canada, which really fucking sucks. So, the main point, rant aside, rant is actually a good way to kind of build up the tension here, but the point I'm trying to get at is that, especially being someone who does not live in the US, it really annoys me when they make different releases of films. Because it's like, holy fucking shit, I've already got a copy, do I need another fucking copy? Sometimes there's a stupid element, like I'll buy the fucking Classics remastered version of Evil Dead because there's no 4K UHD yet. And then bam, 6 months later, 4K UHD, it's the exact same fucking transfer, it should have been brought out the same goddamn fucking day, but now I've got 2 different versions of it. Actually, I ended up waiting and bought it for free, but still. It was like a buy two get one free deal, and I got it for free in the end. And I just gave my old Blu-ray to a friend because I was like, "Fuck it, keep it. It's it's a better version anyway." And it's just like, it's just tiresome, you know. I put in so much fucking money to buy some of these films, and suddenly it's like, hey, guess what? It's got a UHD disc coming out, baby. Like, I think most of us get annoyed by this to begin with. And sometimes it can depend, because there are certain labels as well online. Like, where are you? I know you're here. Fuck you, where are you? Court Jester? Is that what it's called? Is that the one? It could be. Yes, this one here. This is like the Paramount Presents label. My dad collected a few of these because they're actually pretty nicely done little sets. Look, it comes out with a poster. Wow. And it slides out. It's a thin case and it's got this sleeve. It's actually really nice. Recently they announced that they're actually going to convert some of the earlier numbers in their spines to 4K. Which pisses off a lot of the fans because it's like, look, a lot of these people were buying it because this was going to be like a 4K scan or whatever on a Blu-ray disc, and they weren't going to put in any more to that. They're like, oh no, we're just going to keep it as a Blu-ray, we're not going to release a 4K. But now they're releasing 4Ks, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, it's not like we don't care. It's great that they're releasing it on 4K, but it's like, but now the Blu-ray I bought is fucking useless. Now, I have a little delineation of that myself. If they don't release a Blu-ray with it, then I'm usually happy to have both, but it just sucks that I've bought at retail price the Blu-ray, and then the 4K comes out a year later, and it's like, what are you doing? Now I've got to spend even more on that? It's really annoying. So, it just comes down to the question of what the fuck is going on? There is so many different releases, and now some brands, there is differences. So if it's a boutique label, say it's like Criterion, and the fact that they're now going into 4K UHD after all this time, I'm okay with that. I waited to get Mulholland Drive for the longest time because I already had the standard Blu-ray, which was already the same 4K scan that Criterion had. So I didn't need to buy the Criterion, but I wanted the special features and the fucking booklet design. And then they released the 4K UHD, bought it from Zavvi for way too goddamn much, should have gone from Amazon, and it comes in damaged. Wonderful. But at least I have it. And it's the 4K UHD, it's all remastered, that's fantastic. But what about the rest of this shit, you know? It's just fucking tiresome. Like, it's always good news to find out that something is coming out on 4K. That's usually great, you know? It's always a great... It's always good news to find out that something else is coming out in 4K. There is always the thing, though, that because we've already bought these films, now they're coming out in 4K, it's like, well, we already have 4K scans, so we really need a 4K UHD? I went to the length of buying every single fucking Argento film, and then, well, not every single fucking Argento film, but a lot of Argento films, and then they're like, oh, guess what, now they're all coming out in 4K UHD. And it's like, fuck you. But that also has a different pretense to it, where it's like, and I've talked about this in my previous video, talking about the Arrow Video limited edition sets and the whole burden of buying them. A lot of their stuff is like, it's either new artwork or the same artwork. It's just got a different disc. So a lot of people didn't like that. But that was a different thing, because it's like, I was okay with it because I didn't have RoboCop on 4K. I didn't have the Arrow Video version of RoboCop. So when they announced that they're bringing it out on UHD, and it's also like, oh yeah, also it's in the exact same packaging, in a same limited edition packaging as the old version. I'm like, personally, that's fine by me, you know? They don't have to put in more expense. All they got to do is just upgrade the disc and re-release the goddamn thing. For me, that's fine. You know, the Argento one, on the other hand, it was like, it's actually got different artwork. So that was the only other part where I'm like, I guess that's fine? Because realistically it is. It's just different artwork. I don't think it's better artwork, unless you get the original artworks, and those ones are pretty nice. But I only got those for like Phenomena and fuck, what's the other one? I literally just got it the other week. Tenebrae. But it's like, but then they have also the extra thing of, oh, by the way, you also get like, because it's not just the fact that it's the same 4K scans I already have, but now they're in HDR10, potentially Dolby Vision, not really HDR10 plus. Nobody really does that, which I'm totally cool with. And they don't really upgrade the audio either, which I don't mind half the time because usually the audio isn't that much when it comes to an upgrade. But then, of course, there's the additional element of, oh, by the way, we're adding extra discs. At least with the Argento versions, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to add the Creepers cut to Phenomena. We're going to add the Shadow cut to Tenebrae. Deep Red gets the US cut. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to watch it, but it's cool to have it. It's all there remastered in 4K of a new disc. That's pretty nice. And for me, not having originally only bought standard edition versions of these films because the limited editions were well sold out, I'm now getting I got the limited edition sets while they were on sale at Zavvi because no one was buying them because they were waiting for the standard editions to come out for those 4K UHD discs. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to get the whole package because I didn't have the package to begin with. Pros and cons. But in the end, it's like, how many times do I have to buy a film before I have the complete fucking package? And that's just one of the burdens of buying physical media. The same thing could be said actually for the Star Trek films, because the original 6 Star Trek films are like, oh yeah, we're going to release only the first 4, and if you're in Australia, you only get the 4K discs. If you're in the US and the UK, you get the 4K discs plus the Blu-ray discs, and the Blu-ray discs, which aren't remastered, come with all the special features. Yeah, they didn't remaster the Blu-ray discs. I got the 4K set from the US to come in, so I could get it with all the special features. And now they're releasing the 5th and 6th film on 4K, plus they're releasing them all in different goddamn packages. You could get the collection, which comes with the same artwork that the 4-pack had, but there's more people and more heads on it now. Or you get the individual releases, which is insane to me that they're doing individual releases, because I want the individual releases. They all come with the fucking original artwork on the covers. It's beautiful. Why didn't you do that to begin with? Why do you have to make it so fucking hard? Like, I'm pretty sure probably people complained about this, or they definitely will have by now. The Universal Monsters Essentials set came with 4 films: Dracula, The Mummy. Was it The Mummy? No. Dracula, The Invisible Man, Frankenstein, and The Wolfman. It was The Wolfman. Anyway, but you get those 4 films, and the Essentials box set, which comes with the booklet, which is in every fucking Universal Monsters set anyway, so you're not getting anything, really. A lot of people bought that original set that came with all 4 films. I don't know what that original set looks like on the inside. I'm pretty sure it's just a digipack. You open up and you got all 4 of your discs slotted there, which might look nice. Do you wait for Volume 2 to come out? Because they didn't call it Essentials Volume 1. They just called it The Essentials. Which a lot of people didn't do, which I'm kind of okay with, but also like, now they're all like a lot cheaper because nobody fucking bought them. I bought the steelbooks of all 4 of those films. Because at least then I have individual packaging for each one. They're matte finishes. I don't mind the artwork because it's just mostly the main character, like the villain character, the title named character of Dracula or the Wolfman or whatever on the front. And on the back you either get a different picture of the character or you get a picture of a couple of characters. I don't even remember what the fuck you get on the inside. A nice wallpaper? I don't know. Who cares? But like, you get all these. You get the 4K and the Blu-ray in the pack. Easy as that, I didn't have to worry about them all being in this big colossal pack. It cost me more in the end, sure, because it was like about $50 a steelbook, where I could have just basically spent half of that on the Essentials pack, but I really wanted the steelbooks because I like getting those steelbooks. But now they've announced, with no official artwork yet, that they're doing individual releases for those 4 films as 4Ks. And I'm like, why didn't you just do that to begin with? The only one I'm okay with that they haven't done that for, actually, wait, they fucking did, didn't they? Hitchcock. They did the same thing for the Hitchcock set. They released a whole 4-pack set with fucking Psycho, The Birds, Rear Window, and Vertigo. Probably his 4 most notable films next to North by Northwest. They've brought them all out in 4K and put them all in one box set. Or you buy the steelbooks, which are different in the UK versus the US, where the US has the name on it and the UK does not. I got the UK versions, but I don't mind it. The only one I prefer that the name probably would have been on it would be Rear Window. The rest kind of work without names, like The Birds and Psycho and all that. They got some nice artwork. Actually, I got the shitty fucking version of Psycho, so it doesn't even have good artwork. Did they even release a Psycho version? I don't think they did. But my 4K disc doesn't have the original audio anyway. I got the broken disc, but then when they did send me the replacement, that was also broken, so... But it's just like... I don't... Like, now they've actually released those individually. Like, I had already bought The Birds and Psycho on steelbooks. If I go to my Hitchcock shelf over here... Yeah, I have Rear Window and Vertigo on the shelf there, in their 4K sets. I probably should, and probably will at some stage, buy the standard editions of The Birds and Psycho, so I can have them all on a 4K stack, but then I've got 4 steelbooks of them over there, readily available, 4 versions over here. Who the fuck is going to watch them? Then I've got the extra packs that are like, oh, here's this collection pack, which... I had bought a Essentials collection pack that had like 15 of his films, and now this year they've released a 20-pack version, which I believe comes with North by Northwest and like Dial M for Murder, which is, I don't even think has a Blu-ray release outside of that pack. And I've already got North by Northwest with the 50th anniversary edition, so I don't mind. Dial M for Murder would love to get, but I've already... The only time I saw it was in cinema, and that was in 3D, and it looked fantastic. I don't really think I ever need to watch it again, realistically. I wouldn't mind, but, you know. And then it's just like, what the fuck about the rest of it, you know? To be fair, though, I didn't actually buy that Hitchcock pack, because when you get it, it's just a big tub, and it's really poorly constructed, so they just made it as cheaply as possible, which I think really fucking sucks. It's, you know, they've already done a digipack for the rest of it, where you got to slide the discs out, which is terrible in design, realistically. But at least that's more attractive than the release that they went for. I don't know. Like, you've still got your 4-pack Essentials Volume 1 of fucking Hitchcock, and Volume 2 has come out, which apparently all those transfers look fantastic, but I'm like, I'd prefer to get individual releases, but then I'm also like, I'm not that big of a Hitchcock fan to get individual releases of all of those. There's like 6 films in that goddamn collection. I'm like, do I need to get them all individually? They're not going to release them all individually, but they might in like a year and a half time release them all individually. I don't fucking know. But I don't have the original pack as a 4-pack, so do I buy this as a 4-pack as well? It doesn't, like, how is it cased? Is it one big case that just has all the discs slotted together with just that mismatched artwork that they've got on it? I don't fucking know. It's so much of a burden to do that sometimes. But that's the same thing that goes for the Hitchcock films. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I want to have Psycho and the Birds 4K, at least for 4K for Psycho. I've got a reason to buy it because it will come with that fucking correct audio track. And I'd be able to just have them all stacked together, which would be really nice. There'll be a matching set. That would be great. At least the steelbooks are a decently matching set, but they're just like a cosmetic thing. I could just give my standard 4Ks to Dad and then keep the steelbooks whenever the fuck I move out. That's something. But sometimes I just look at the buy two get one free sales, maybe if it's 20% off, and I'm still just like, do I really want to get Psycho and the Birds? I'm not going to watch them. I've already got the 4K discs in different sets. I'm not going to watch those ones either. I've watched the Birds way too many times, and I don't like the Birds. I don't care much for the Birds. Whereas Psycho, it's like, I've watched it enough times, I don't think I'm going to watch it again for a while, you know. Rear Window and Vertigo, I will watch a lot, because I really like those films. Same by Northwest. I had actually bought the steelbooks for Vertigo and Rear Window after I had bought the standard editions. I'm pretty sure. I think I'd ordered the steelbooks, and then the standard editions came out, and I figured I want to get the standard editions anyway because I really like the artwork on them, even though it's the same artwork. What's the artwork that they have for Vertigo? I actually should probably check this out. Yeah, see? Comes with all the names and stuff. Like, I don't mind it despite the fact that it has the, the rating sticker, which really, that's probably the only annoying element about them. Like, the spines are nicely tied together. This is basically what you'd be getting if I got the Birds and Psycho as well. At least the Birds and Psycho makes more sense, because the Psycho one isn't the original artwork version, which really sucks that they haven't released that at Xavier at all. So, yeah. But that's the same thing when it comes to my Carpenter thing. I like having them all in their collections. Their director's suites and stuff. So, it's like the weird oblong things where, say my Fincher collection here, which starts with the Digipack of 7, then you got Fight Club, Zodiac, Social Network, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which I had the steelbook initially, and then I've just bought the standard edition for $8 and then put it in here. Gone Girl, which is the Digipack, so it's tall as shit and thin as shit. And yeah, I don't actually have any more of his films. Weird. Has he done any other films? He has. I don't have it. I don't know if Mank has a Blu-ray release. I also haven't seen it. I haven't got the game either. I need to get that one. Alien 3 is in my Alien pack, so I'm not going to put that down there. I wouldn't really put it down there anyway. But still, it's just tiresome. This is overall my and most people's burden with physical media. I don't know what the fuck you do to improve it either. Like, I don't know. There are some companies, say like Criterion, who will get the fucking transfer of a film, like get the rights for a film, and do a fucking standout goddamn version of it. They did a wonderful version. Their packaged version is for where's Kubrick? For Doctor Strangelove is brilliant. I fucking love it. It's such a well done package. And it's a 4K transfer, sure. All remastered, looks wonderful. But now there's a 4K UHD. Do I get the 4K UHD? It doesn't come with any special features. But I did that was in like the Columbia Classics set. I did the same thing I got the Columbia Classics Volume 2, which gave me Anatomy of a Murder on 4K. Which I already have the Criterion. I watched the 4K UHD, but the Criterion has the commentary track and has all the special features. But I have them both anyway. I want to get Taxi Driver and Social Network on 4K, so that was my benefit there. It just became an extra, so I'm like, okay, I'll just put the Blu-ray. I think I ended up just using the Anatomy of a Murder. Oh, right, yeah. It's actually like really thin packaging too, but it's like still original artwork. I just changed the discs around. Did I? No, I didn't. Wow, really? That's interesting. So I've got the 4K disc and the Blu-ray disc. I thought I had put the Blu-ray disc for the Criterion in here. I guess I didn't. That's really weird. I think there's a reason for that, though. I think I compared the pair, like I did in Anatomy of a Blu-ray, which my first ever one, which compared the two versions. And I think this one stood out more because the transfer looked a bit better because it was UHD. But it came with basically all the same special features. I think the Criterion had one or two more. Criterion has better packaging and a booklet. But, yeah. I think they basically had the same special features. Look, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. It's a win-lose situation where the win is the fact that you're going to get a 4K transfer of a film. Maybe it's a 4K UHD of a film and you're like, fuck yeah, this is amazing. Look at all these special features. It's so good. Maybe it lacks a few things. Oh, this set could have done with a UHD disc. This set could have done with a Dolby Atmos track. This set could have done with some more special features. And then suddenly they're like, oh, hey, it's been a year or two. How about we do that? We'll just do that. We'll just fucking put on a UHD disc. We'll give it a Dolby Atmos track. Maybe they won't even do that. Maybe they'll just put it out on a Dolby, UHD. Like, they've done that for the Cornetto trilogy and Shaun of the Dead. They released them all on 4K, but it's like, they're just kind of lackluster upscales. still looking that extra bit better than the Blu-rays did, but like realistically, you're not getting much extra out of it. And I don't think they even changed the audio, and if they did, it's not that much of an improvement. So there are also occasions like that where you get, it's basically a worthless purchase. Inglourious Bastards, for example, that's a pretty good one of just a bad 4K release. Obviously, there are terrible 4K releases like Terminator 2. But yeah, so I don't know. There's not really much else that I can do about it. Where sometimes you'll go for the 4K scan disc because it's cheaper than the 4K, thinking, I don't need to get the 4K, who needs the 4K? And then the 4K actually looks fucking fantastic. It just somehow looks better than the standard Blu-ray version. That's what I did for Basic Instinct, but I was able to get Basic Instinct with the Steelbook version after getting this Classics Remastered, which I got as a buy two get one free. So I was like, I think I already got it for either for free or for like $16. And then I was able to get the 4K Steelbook, which comes with the Steelbook design, which is really nice, and the 4K disc, which is even better. So that's one of those occasions where it just happened to be in my favor in a way, but still expensive. Anyway, that's it. That's all I'm done. I'm finished ranting. I'm fucking tired. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. Give me your thoughts on what the hell is going on here. What do you think I should do? Should I go ahead and buy the Scream Factory releases? Like, I could do it for the dedication to the brand, and I do have a few of their Shout and Scream Factory releases for my John Carpenter collection. But it's like, you know, do I really need it for a fucking Dolby Atmos track? Or should I just bite the bullet, wait the time out, even though that's two opposite things, wait for them to become quite reduced, below, personally, $40 each, because they currently are like $45, and I'm like, that's just too much. If they were all $30 to $40, I'd probably buy them, because there's only 4 of them once the fog comes out, and that's if the fog is a good transfer. I think if the fog is a really good transfer, I will buy all 4 of them. But I think most people are thinking the same thing in a way. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, a lot of Americans bought them because they didn't want to buy the Studio Canal versions because they are scared of Region B discs, which I'm totally fair with. But at the same time, UHDs are region free, but I guess special features are on the Blu-ray disc, so, you know, there is that, which I totally understand. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I think that's personally the method I'm going to go with. If I want to get the upgrade, I'll just wait for it to become cheaper on sale, or something really cool comes with it, or happens to it. You know, say for Evil Dead 2, I was able to get it, I think, for free, because it was a buy two get one free for horror. You know, Basic Instinct, I got it with the Steelbook, which looks really nice, you know. So I'll just try my best and hope for the best. That's it. See you next time.